Hello everyone, welcome back to the Wealth Saarthi and I am Tulshi. So Nifty has fallen approximately 600 points, which is around 4.02% last week. And the more confusing is that if it's one directional fall or if it's one directional growth, then we do can predict or we do can make a conclusion that whether we are in uptrend or downtrend. But what is happening that one day it's a gap up, another day it's gap down, and then gap up, then gap down, then couple of good days, then couple of bad days. So it's a completely confusing market, and it's kind of a sideways, but then more towards the downside than the upside. And we all know what is causing all this, because RBI have increased the interest rate, now Fed have also increased interest rate, then rising inflation. Russia Ukraine still continues and we don't know when it's going to stop. The rise in the crude oil, and there are so many external factors are affecting the equity markets across the globe, not only in India at this moment. So what do we do in this situation? How to find the opportunities, and then I'm going to share one trick with you in this video, that when the situation is like this, when overall markets are not supporting, and how to find a better opportunity, so that your breakouts are not failing, because of lately a lot of breakouts are also failing. So breakout strategy definitely does not work in this kind of a sideways or a sideways to downtrend market. So what is the another method we need to see in this kind of a situation, or what is the strategy we should use? So that is what we are going to discuss in this video. So without wasting any further time, let's go straight to the screen and let's get started. So the opportunity what we are going to discuss today is the Power Grid Corporation of India Limited. So it's a public sector enterprise, it's a public sector company. And here if we go to the screener, and on screener we can read little bit more information about the company, that Power Grid Corporation of India Limited is a Maharashtra CPSU and India's largest electric power transmission company, and Government of India holds 51.34% stake in the company as on March 31st, 2021. And Power Grid was incorporated in 1989, so quite old establishment. So basically they are into the core business. If we read here, that company moves large block of power from the central generating agency. Now those agencies could be government agencies as well as the private agencies like Adani Power and Tata Powers and etc. So they move large blocks of power from those power generating agencies to wherever it's required, and then surplus power load to the centers within and across the region. And it is under administrative control of Ministry of Power, Government of India. So it is controlled by directly central government. And if we see, there are other key points, but what I found interesting is this one here. So company is promoting e-mobility by adopting electric vehicles for its own use and by installing fast EV charging stations across the country. During the year, company set up 11 EV fast charging stations. Now Power Grid is operating 16 public EV charging stations across Delhi, Gurgaon, Hyderabad, Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Kochi and Kozhikode. Work on additional 24 EV power stations are in progress, and again in prime cities of Delhi, Bangalore, Mysuru and Shillong. And they are developing another 11 stations in Shillong under faster adoption manufacturing for electric vehicles. So here we can see that it is in sync with the latest trend of EV vehicles, which is catching up. And even if you see the growth of Tata Motors as well, the majority of the growth of lately has come from the EV vehicles and not from the conventional petrol and diesel vehicle. Revenue breakdown: transmission charges 89%. So transmission charges are actually those charges which they charge to the private companies or the other sectors, from where they help them to transfer the blocks power. So that's where their main revenue comes from, and then consultancy, telecoms, and then few others. So these are the key points about the company, the business, what they do. If we see market cap 1,66,000, it's trading at a quite decent premium of 12.1 PE. Current price is 238. If we see ROCE 11.4%, ROE 18.7. So all these things looks decent. Only thing which I see a little of area of concern, but which I definitely see will be improving very soon, based on the future business plans what company has, which is the quarterly profit variance, because in previous quarter they made more profit than this quarter. So that's for the latest quarterly results are available, which are lesser than the previous quarter. And debt to equity, so I prefer to have below 0.5, but 1.74 also it's not that big area of concern. And if we see the sales are consistently increasing quarter on quarter and year on year as well. So December 2021, the latest quarterly results which is available, 10,447 crore against December 20, 10,142, and then against December 29, 9,364. So year on year, quarter on quarter, consistent increase in sales. Operating margin, fantastic operating margin across the board, 80+%. And so here this I was telling, the reduction in net profit, this is slight area of concern, but then here there would have been some additional income generated through this period. That is why here it's 5,998 crore, but otherwise across their profit margin it is in a range of 3,000 to 3,200 crore. Now what is most interesting which I see here is this particular part. So though last quarter ended results are yet to come, but if you see here, FI High have increased their stake from 28.19 in quarter ended December to 29.35 quarter ended in March, and this is 8.42 DII in December to 16.02. So the big money move is happening, and it is accumulated by big players. So if we put total of these three together, so 51 plus 29, so it's about 80 plus 10, 99, 96+% it is in the big hands, and very little is left to the public. It is only 3.29% is left with the public to do the other holding. So you can see the company is in a very big hands, and the big players are holding this company. So this is all about business and fundamental. Now let's go to the technical, and let's see whatever we have discussed so far, whatever we have seen so far in terms of the fundamental and business analysis, whether it is reflecting onto the technical chart pattern or not. So currently we are onto a daily time frame of power grid. Now as I spoke earlier in the beginning of the video that I am going to share a tip here with you, which will help you, which will reduce your analytical time, where you can compare the particular stock with the market in same screen. So it just eases your the analytical time. So here what you see on the top, this orange line, it is actually Nifty, and here what you see is the company script, which is Power Grid. Now how to do that, I'll show you. I'll just delete this for now. So in trading view, where you see this Power Grid and there is a plus icon, so if we see plus icon, then here I am just going to select Nifty. So when we see it comes like this, quite haphazard. So we just double click on that, and we go to style, visibility, not sorry this way, not double click, right click, and in visual move to new pane above. So it will come here like this. So now what do you have here is that you have Nifty and you have the company. Now you can further double click on that, and then in input, in style, you can keep candles, you can keep bar, you can keep hollow, however you like, but I like to keep line, and I'll show you how and why I like to keep line. So this is a thing. Now let's go to the weekly time frame to start with, because this is how I like to do my analysis, that we move from larger time frame to the smaller time frame, and then on smaller time frame we will find a right entry point. So on weekly time frame, where it had made a bottom out in March 2020 during COVID crash, from this, as the Nifty is rising, the script is also rising, and that also you can see by the 3 moving averages, which is I use on daily time frame. It's 9, 21 and 50. Sorry, this is weekly, 10 week, 20 week and 63 week. I beg your pardon over there. So while the Nifty was rising, the stock was also rising, but then from here, from November onwards, let's draw a trend line here. Let's draw a trend line here. So when Nifty made a top somewhere here, which was some 18,000 plus points, from there it is failing to reach that level. Forget breaking, it is failing to reach that level, but however this is still continues to rise. So this is how you can see that what is the strength in the stock as against the overall market. So that helps us to determine that this is one of the additional strength indicator, that we can see that there is a still lot of strength in this company, in this stock, and where the overall market it is on consolidation to downwards, the stock is still rising. Now on daily time frame it is same. So here again I have 10, 20, 50 and 200. So where we saw this period here, let me draw another trend line here, the lines, yeah. So this was the lowest point where Nifty broke below EMA 200. This just touched 200 days moving average and came up, and after that even now as well, in last week closing, Nifty again went down below 200 moving average. This is quite far from 200 day moving average. So it shows overall strength in this stock. Now if we see short term trend as well, let's go to 1 hour time frame. Even in short term trend as well, while the Nifty is in downtrend, this is in sideways movement. So in shorter time frame also it has a good strength as against the Nifty. Now again if we move back to the daily time frame, so what should be our entry point? So here on this line we should wait until it close above this line, because here there is a tiny little resistance where it went above this level, but however it did not give closing above that level and it came down. So it might try to attempt the same move, but if it does not, and if it gives closing above this line, then we can definitely take entry in this script, and then you can take your position. But however this is not a buy or sell recommendation, this is just an educational video, and currently I also do not have a position in this stock. I just found this during my weekly research and analysis. So I will monitor this on Monday, Tuesdays. We will have to see also how the overall market behaves in coming week, because last week wasn't so great at all for Nifty and then overall market. So we will see how it goes, and then if I find a good opportunity, I will definitely take entry, and I will update on my Twitter and Telegram. I have links of my social media accounts in the description if you like my work, and you can follow me. So that's it from today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed this analysis, and I you like my tip as well, how to check the script against the market. And if you did that, then hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. This is Tulsi signing out until I see you in the next